Okay, so what was it? What happened?
So the Capitol, as you know, was set up for the inauguration. There was large stands of fallen bleachers on either side, and then in the center, at the base, was a tall tower, steel beam tower.
Yeah.
Quite a few people up on the steel beam tower. We were among the first wave of people that got up on the initial deck, right at that tower, and then there were a little bit ways forward. There were maybe 4, 5, 6 steps to get up to the main level of that whole area from the Capitol. Still, that tower is
Were they
just to our right.
were they restricting people at that time?
Well, when we got up there, the main level, I don't know how far back there were barricades, but that main level was solid people. So we got up to that main level, but the steps were just right behind us. So we spent a period of time up there and then down the 4 or 5 steps and then back up. We alternated a little bit. And that tower immediately to our right, 10, 12 feet, people were continuing to go up and down that, waving flags and all that activity.
Yeah.
As soon as we got up there onto that main level, I look over to my right and I can see 40 feet away from me, I can see the heads of a number of officers, riot gear, solid black, billy clubs. What caught my eye was the billy clubs were above their head. So that was caught my eye. I look over there at the billy clubs and they're coming down on people. And this is the initial get up there.
Yeah.
There was a line there, and they were beating people. And this was to my right. That beating didn't last that long. I guess the officers retreated, or maybe some people moved back. I'm not sure. But we had already noticed prior to that, straight ahead and up high, not the highest point. There were 2 people at the highest point, which we thought were possibly snipers, but we did not see guns. But the lower balcony area, immediately above the area we're at, several officers, 5, 6 maybe of them, with weapons. I thought it was rifles. The gentleman with me he said no, those are he says they're rubber bullets.
Yeah,
They're rubber bullets. Nobody was covered in paint. People
Were they shooting people with rubber bullets?
Well, if they were pepper balls, some people said rubber bullets, but I helped a man who had been shot. Okay.
What's your name?
Trey Smith.
Tracy.
Trey Smith.
Trey Smith.
Right. So pretty much immediately, concussion grenades are going off to our left, primarily just to our left, not ever concussion to the right, oddly enough. They started pretty much immediately, these clouds of smoke, didn't know what they were, but the clouds of smoke, the wind was hard and directly at the Capitol. And these clouds of smoke were coming up, but the wind takes it right back where it came from. Well, evidently that was some type of gas. I don't know different kind of gases, so I'm going to call it
tear gas.
Tear gas. I'm going to call it tear gas. And all the officers were getting hit with the tear gas. So there were officers with bottles of water dousing their heads and in their eyes that had retreated back all the way to the back wall because they were suffering the effects from something.
Yeah.
And at first, honestly, I thought they were maybe faking that for cameras because no one had had any effects as tear gas yet because the wind kept taking it back and they stopped. And maybe they began shooting it from a different position, closer to the people, but that's when people started getting hit with tear gas. Concussion grenades were constant, and the people, they're constantly shooting at people with I'm going to call them rubber bullets. I don't know of any shooting that caused a gas exposure or anything else. So, and then sometime into it, there was an offensive, I'll call it, the people in the riot gear pushing people back, which was difficult because they really didn't have a lot of room to move back.
They didn't, no.
And when they finally got some people down this huge, dense, and I only saw it one time, huge, heavy, dense of smoke to my right, probably 25 feet away, comes rolling down those 6 steps and over all the people. And then 2 officers in riot gear step forward with a large canister and start spraying good 20 feet out,
Yeah.
just spraying everyone. It was red and had to be pepper spray.
Yeah.
So that broke up some of the crowd. I will tell you that it remained crowded. But whoever may have exited, and they had to,
Yeah.
people took their place.
Yes.
And a man, only one man, or a couple people, one man in particular, older man, later find out 71 years old, enlisted, served in Vietnam at age 17, got out of the Army after a number of years, served as a police officer for 29 years.
Right.
He was in bad shape. He took the brunt of it, whatever went down.
Right.
He comes out, people are helping him out. There's someone who says, hey, I'm a medic. We're now back against the wall. You have to climb over a wall to the first little flat area before those steps are
Yeah.
to get on the main area. We have him back at the wall, and there was a gentleman that, though he said he's a medic, he's just guys like you and me, but he brought supplies, and he was there with supplies to try to help.
I saw them drag him out.
Okay, so anyway, that gentleman, 71 years old, he was in bad shape. 10 minutes go into it, and one of the guys who was helping him, I said, look, as bad a shape as he's in, and they're continuing to, and the only reason why everyone wasn't fucked up is because of the wind. If the wind was not there, or the wind was in the other direction, we would have been talking hundreds of people that were all choking. I mean, I only got a tiny bit down my throat,
That was bad.
but
yes.
it wasn't even visible. I didn't see anything, but it felt like I swallowed food.
Yeah.
Literally, I swallowed a bite of food. I felt a physical, something just went down my throat. Oh, now I can't, now I'm choking. So anyway, I said to the man assisting the older man, I said, look, if he gets, they're continuing to spray us. If he gets hit again, he could even be worse. So I said, ask him if he would like to go down the hill. And he asked him, he immediately said yes. So he was about 5'6", 5'7", very heavy man, not in great shape. Many people help him over, help me over, help my friend over. 3 of us take him down the hill, lay him down, we're pouring water over his face, we're trying to help him. 20 minutes later, this is when we found out he signed up at 17 to serve in Vietnam, 29 years law enforcement, and he got better. About 25 minutes into it, he said, I'm better. He stood up, he says, I'm going back. And my friend and I went with him, and he stayed up there. We stuck up there probably till a little after 4. While we were up there, 2 people came out and made announcements. Now, where exactly they came from, I don't know. One gentleman came out.
Was this in D.C.?
Yeah, this is on top of the Capitol.
I was there, okay.
Yeah.
Not on top.
The van comes out. At this time, we're now to the far right. We had thought about going up the staircase that would take us on those stands.
Yeah, the platform.
But the gentleman who we were with, we did not want to leave, and he literally, you actually had to climb over something to get to the staircases. And we weren't going to leave him, and he wasn't able. So now we're if you're looking at the Capitol, we're on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
A man comes out, he starts making an announcement to people, and someone had just been shot.
Mm-hmm.
And we had not heard this. So he makes an announcement. I mean, people are listening to him. He's being heard. And then after his announcement's over and he's not yelling out anymore, I walk over to him and I said, I just want to make sure I understood you. Somebody got shot. He said, yes. I said, well, did you see it? I'm not questioning him. I'm asking him, but I'm not discounting what he knows. He said, no, I didn't see it, but I have pictures of the blood. And he pulls out his phone and he shows me pictures.
Yeah, I saw the video.
I saw a trail. He just had still photographs.
Of the woman shot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of the blood, her blood. It was the exact same concrete we were standing on. Okay.
He was on top of those stairs.
So
At the Capitol.
after that, another man made an announcement. He announced a warning to everyone that Antifa is in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Antifa is now, and Antifa have on Trump gear, and they're beginning to attack Trump supporters. And he says they're throwing bricks.
Yeah.
who were at the stand. He says, "Be careful! They're going to throw bricks off the
Bricks.
stand."
Yeah.
Turns out he is a police officer from New Jersey.
That's the one that made the announcement.
Yeah.
He made an announcement just in our area, right? And then we ended up talking to him, and he said it was Antifa. Now he had already, at the same time, while he was up there, and he came down. And probably the reason why he came down, he had just been hit with tear gas. His face was jacked up, his eyes were jacked up, and he came down. He makes this announcement while trying to help himself. And so anyway, after that, he joins our little group of 3 or 4 maybe now, and he's explaining that Antifa had breached the building. They're inside the Capitol, and that was Antifa. But honestly, I had no idea what was happening at Capitol. That was the first we heard.